Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Bostrom's b.Cast, conversations about the crazy, wacky world of association management that all of us have chosen to be a part of. I am so excited about today's guest, Kate Temple, Bostrom's Chief People Officer. Welcome to the b.Cast, Kate.
Thanks, Jeannie.
So we're just going to dive in with the first question is all about how did you find this career in association management? I always like to explore these career paths because it's not a well-known or widely known career path. So tell us a little bit about how you got here.
Sure. Well, I fell into it like many of us have. I spent my career doing HR and ops, but in a variety of industries. I worked for Blue Man Group for several years. I worked for a modern art museum, a university, and then I moved to tech and did HR and operations for some tech companies. The last one of which I had to downsize, and I was laid off. And at that point, I started consulting with HR Source. And as you know, I was hired to be a part-time on-site consultant for Bostrom and some other employers. And a year later, Bostrom brought me on full-time.
Awesome. Interesting path. I had kind of a similar path in that I came from technology as well, and seems to be very well suited to what we do, especially today. So at Bostrom, you play a vital role as Chief People Officer. I can't say enough about the work that you've done in building a culture that has set us apart, truly set us apart in the market and in the association management industry. We do get calls and we do get business and have achieved growth because of who we are as a company and what that culture is. I can't imagine how hard the last few years have been on you, putting the focus on our people, ensuring the health, the well-being of our employees, which is our number one asset at a professional services firm, and putting them front and center. So what did you learn most about the last few years?
Yeah, so many lessons learned, especially through the pandemic and just getting through the past 3 years or so. I think one thing that sticks out for me is that it's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to try things that may not stick. And the reality was that during COVID, we didn't have time to adapt. We didn't have we weren't able to plan ahead. I think it was a luxury if we could plan maybe 3 months ahead, but things were changing so quickly. And we pride ourselves on being agile and flexible anyways, but and I think that those skills shined during COVID, but were also really put to the test. But personally, I like to have the answers first, and I'm a little hesitant to improvise, but that really pushed me to do that, and I think it paid off.
Absolutely. It definitely paid off. And I think good leaders aren't the ones with all the answers, but the ones that know how to bring the right people together to get to them, to get to a path. And you just really shined throughout that whole process. What is,
I did.
Yeah, go ahead,
Sorry.
Kate. No, go
I was
ahead.
going to add a little bit more. In terms of like our culture and keeping people motivated and connected over the past few years, I think one of the other things I've learned is I don't have to do it all myself. And in fact, it's better if we engage our colleagues in creating those opportunities. So, we've developed teams at Bostrom, within Bostrom, to focus on fun, to focus on giving back, to focus on DEI, and yeah, all of those things are still under my purview, but I think having our colleagues lead those efforts, really, we all get more out of it that way. It provides leadership opportunities and just more buy-in in general, of like, how can we stay connected as a community and keep our culture strong even when times are tough.
That's a great point, and just having the diversity of thought and and different generations and different career levels and all of those things that make those teams so effective, I think is really important too. Yeah, just amazing work with that collaboration. So what do you see working? We've been fortunate that we've grown, right, in the last few years. And so, what do you see working for employee recruitment and retention, which has been vital in the last few years just because of the job market? But as we've experienced growth, you've had a lot on your plate in terms of employee recruitment and retention. So what do you see working?
Well, I think this was a positive that came out of the pandemic and the hot job market, the tight job market after. Um, we had to condense our interview process and make sure that we were reacting quick enough to candidates to secure the talent that we wanted to bring on board, but didn't want to sacrifice the important pieces of our interview process and the conversations that we have with candidates about our culture and DEI and what it's like to work in an AMC. And I think we found a good balance there. We no longer do in-person interviews. Not that we're opposed to it, but just the timing and scheduling that really slows us down. So we're all virtual interviews, and that allows us to condense the process, but also take the time to have those deeper conversations with candidates. And I think that's worked really well for us. Um, in terms of retention, I credit first and foremost our strong culture because it sees us through it all. We You've heard me say it before, I describe us as nice and normal, and we are, we're friendly, we're fun, we care about each other, we care about the associations that we're supporting. And then the normal part for me is just being hardworking, trustworthy, welcoming, and inclusive. And I think we have that in spades. And that's what makes us a great place to work. I think that's what keeps everyone here. But we also have had to get creative. We we can't rely on salary alone to attract and retain our staff. So one of the added benefits that are actually, we've added a few benefits recently. I think that really sweetened the deal. We are just this year rolling out a paid parental leave policy, so offering our parents some extra time off to bond with their new children, new babies. We have partnered with Boone, a professional coaching platform, and Bostrom pays for all of us to connect with a professional coach twice a month. And then we continue to do things like StrengthsFinder and other things that show and put action behind our words, that we really do care about our staff and want them to be well-rounded individuals.
I can say myself, I've benefited from Boone coaching as well. It was a great added benefit to what we already had, and I do think you have to get creative, and you have gotten really creative. And at the end of the day, I do think culture has a huge part to play about not only keeping people here, but keeping our clients here, and the growth of the company. So all of that is intertwined and great. Now, since we both have a tech background, these are interesting times with AI. How do you think AI is going to change the landscape of HR professionals and the type of people we'll be hiring, the skill sets that we'll need?
Well, even though we both have a tech background, I think you're a little more passionate about it than I am. I'm more on the scared side when it comes to AI, but I am trying to embrace it. And one of the things that's helping me is, well, you are helping me, but also I recently saw a presentation by Ben. I think his name is pronounced Eubanks, and he's an AI expert. He wrote a book called Artificial Intelligence for HR and Talent Scarcity. And he talked about how AI can't replace 5 core human skills. And I'm trying to memorize them, so I'll give it a go. compassion, collaboration, curiosity, creativity, and critical thinking. And his point is, let AI help with the simple and repetitive tasks that we all have on our plate. Let AI, gain us some efficiencies on that side of things so that we have more time for the people side of things. And I love that. I can totally get behind that. So I am embracing it and dabbling in AI in my work. And I know that, we are doing that across the board at Bostrom. But when it comes to hiring and what is ideal for us, knowing that AI is going to be a regular part, a regular tool that we all use, maybe now and forevermore, I think our ideal candidate profile is a combination of curiosity, critical thinking, and being technically savvy, because someone with all of those attributes should be able to embrace a tool like AI with the necessary caution and care that you have to apply to it. So I'm keeping that in mind as we continue to recruit.
Mm-hmm. So, do you think that curiosity and critical thinking were things that we were already looking for, or do you think it's even more so?
I think even more so. It's
Mm-hmm.
definitely something that is a part of our values and necessary to build the strong relationships that we have with our clients.
Mm-hmm.
The jobs that everyone does at Bostrom are not cut and dry. They're nuanced, and we are intentionally flexible to give our clients what they want, what they need. So you can't do that unless you're curious about how to make things better and about what the client or just the person you're working with, needs in order to do a better job. And then that critical thinking part is where I think the caution comes in with AI. Like we can't just use AI without thinking through the information we're putting out there, the information we're getting back, and being critical about whether or not there's research to back it up and that kind of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I just think it is now more than ever needed,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
than it was.
Absolutely. Um, Last questions before we go to our speed fire round. What advice can you give other HR executives to help them keep calm and stay sane during times of crisis?
Yeah. Um,
Because you certainly
I
did.
think,
So,
thank you. um, it is like a big part of my job to stay calm when others are not. Not that everyone else was a mess and I wasn't. That's not what I'm trying to say. My role is meant to be a place where people can come and share their thoughts and their feelings, and sometimes that has an emotional element to it. And so my advice, I guess, is like lean into your emotional IQ. I think any role, it serves us so well. And like just starting from a self-awareness level, like I have to allow myself to, in a crisis, um, emotions are triggered. And that happens to me just as much as it happens to others. I'm not immune. HR has feelings too. So I think I've learned to give myself some grace and time to react before feeling like I have to solve something. And and in the same token, um, I give a grain of salt to others when I see emotional currents running through the conversation. Because in a time of crisis, everyone is going to have an emotional reaction, and it's just something we have to work through together. So those are some of the things that have been on my mind lately about sort of reflecting back on how we got through COVID and the rest. But I think for all the negatives, we did gain a lot of positives from that period.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, we've now hit the point. My favorite part of the Bostrom b.Cast is the rapid fire Q&A.
Hey.
Are you ready?
No.
Okay, here we go. What is your current state of mind?
A little nervous.
What do you most value in your colleagues here at Bostrom?
I love that we laugh together.
I like that too. What characteristics make you well suited for working with people?
Good listener and a good communicator. So there's two.
That's okay, you can too. Which talent would you most like to have?
Well, despite my theater degree, I am horrible at improvising. So things like this bring out my nerves. And so I'm going to say improvising. That's a talent I would like to have.
I love it.
More of.
Second city, right up north from here. So, okay, who is your favorite employee at Bostrom?
Wow. Let's see. John D comes to mind. Jeanne Sheehy comes to
Okay,
mind.
there we go.
My favorite, Jeannie.
I know that's not a fair question to ask, but I like to ask it anyway. All right, what is your favorite word?
My favorite word is, you got me there. I tend to say, oh dear, a lot.
Oh dear.
Makes me sound like I'm 3 decades older than I am. So that might be my favorite word. It's just kind of happened.
Oh dear. Okay, I like it. All right, here's our last one. Last one in the rapid fire. What profession, other than this wonderful one working in the association management world, would you like to attempt?
I think that I would be a fabulous professional organizer. It's something I find fun, and if that were my job, I think I could see myself diving deep and like really getting into it.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I would like to hire a professional organizer. Or maybe we can find an association of professional organizers that we could work with.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh, I would like that. I would like that.
All right, I'm on it. I'm going to target them. Okay, well, thank you so much, Kate, for doing this. I know it's a little out of your comfort zone, but you did fabulous, and we learned so much. Just I can't overemphasize the role that people management, talent management, culture, all of those things play in the success of companies, small and large. So thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for doing this podcast today. Hopefully we can have you back another time. We didn't scare you too much.
Thank you, Jeannie. It wasn't so bad.
Okay, good. All right, well, that's a wrap, everyone, on this episode of Bostrom b.Cast, and we hope to see you soon on the next episode, concentrating on meetings, marketing, and other fun things in the world of association management. Bye-bye.